Hey everyone, Rho here. Today we continue our week dedicated to the heroes of the Imperium. And with just 2 days remaining, you just know I had to sneak a little Space Wolf talk in here. So today we are discussing Ragnar Blackmane, the young Wolf Lord destined to one day lead his chapter. General spoiler warning to begin, as the events we are discussing today are from across the Warhammer 40k universe, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. So Ragnar Blackmane, undoubtedly one of the iconic characters of 40k. Ever since the days of 2nd edition, this guy has been the real face of the Space Wolves. For me, I can still remember it was a battle report amid the pages of White Dwarf, with the Space Wolves taking on the Tyranids, that I truly found and fell in love with Ragnar for the first time, back in his days of rocking the blonde locks. And over the years with the evolution of the lore, we've seen the character of Ragnar evolve along with it, but all the while remaining true to those original elements of the character. A young brash Wolf Lord who's destined to be the future of the chapter. Now the great thing about Ragnar is that we've been blessed with a series of novels dedicated to his background, written by William King, stretching over 2 omnibuses now. And look, I know I'm a biased Space Wolf fan, but these are fantastic old school reads. If you've never checked them out, I definitely recommend giving them a go, especially if you're interested in seeing the character of the Space Wolves. Like I said, they are a bit more old school lore in some of the terms, but quite simply a great story just never ages. Now Ragnar's rise through the Space Wolf chapter is nothing short of meteoric. His ability and unsurpassed talent is simply unrivaled. He went from Bloodclaw straight into the Wolf Guard, completely skipping the years he should have spent as a Grey Hunter. And after avenging his lord when he fell in battle, Ragnar found himself appointed the position in his stead, becoming the youngest Wolf Lord ever. Now, one of the elements that aids Ragnar perhaps the most in his swift rise and unrivaled success is his sheer ferocity upon the battlefield. Ragnar's temper is legendary, and it was something that he had even before joining the chapter, a spirit that just couldn't be tamed. After inheriting the Mark of Russ, well, it became an unbridled force of nature. But while this may be to the Wolf Lord's credit in many situations, it can and has also been his undoing. And in truth, this has led Ragnar to have as many detractors as he has supporters. And we've been lucky enough over the years to witness some of these events within Ragnar's past, where his temper has very much been his undoing. Perhaps the most interesting incident for me could almost well have led to a chapter war. And this particular incident is shown in the Ragnar Blackmane novel by Aaron Dembski Bowden, and this is another great little read. ADB has a great knack for writing Space Wolves, and I'll drop a link for those interested in the description as always. But essentially Ragnar, before his years as a Wolf Lord, has been selected to lead a group of his brothers in a campaign alongside Imperial allies near the Maelstrom. And those allies in this effort just happen to be the Dark Angels. The rivalry between these 2 chapters is legendary, and relations between the 2 is frosty at the best of times. However, in both being loyal servants to the Emperor, their campaign was completed successfully. However, it was after that the time came for honour to be satisfied. the duel to honour their Primarchs. Now, if you don't quite know what duel I'm referring to, this duel takes place whenever the Dark Angels and Space Wolves take the field together, one champion fighting the other, in a lesser image of their once duelling Primarchs. Though Russ and L. Johnson buried their grudges and made their peace, the duel has become a tradition of honour between the chapters, a fight between champions to the drawing of first blood. Only then can honour be satisfied. Now, the exact events of the duel in this circumstance are unknown, but as you probably would have expected, Ragnar was that particular champion for the Wolves. However, maybe unexpectedly, Ragnar lost. Or at least he should have lost, for while the Dark Angel did draw first blood by wounding Ragnar across the cheek, Ragnar's raging temper once more got the better of him, and instead of ending the duel, he beheaded his opponent. And while no doubt some people out there may be feeling, hey, it's a duel, and a duel between Astartes, these things are bound to happen. And well, you'd sound like some of the Space Wolves in that situation. A fight's not done until it is done. But really, that's just not the case here. When I say the relations between the Dark Angels and Space Wolves are strained, that's not an understatement. Maybe if L. Johnson hadn't been lost so soon after the siege, history would remember better that the brothers repaired the grudge amid their grief, and they could speak once more again as kin. But so it is. Fate is a cruel mistress, and the rivalry between the chapters has only grown. The duel of honour between them is the only thing that manages to prevent it from boiling over. This clash of champions, a way for the two chapters to let out their anger and emotions, stopping it from its inevitable conclusion were it not to happen. By Ragnar's actions, the two forces came extremely close to war. In a kind of ironic way, it almost mirrors the original duel of their Primarchs, or maybe brawl would be a better term for their encounter. As Russ stopped and threw his head back to laugh, all the anger draining out of him, his brother the Lion was not done, and punched his brother, knocking him out. Except here, this time, it's the other way around. Now, we don't know if the Dark Angel stopped after he drew first blood, and Ragnar caught him unaware, or if the Dark Angel continued to fight against the maddened wolf. But either way, Ragnar was in the wrong, and he knew it. Again, I really recommend you read this one if you haven't before, just to see Ragnar's conflicting emotions, because he really has no one to blame but himself. He alone puts himself squarely in a no-win situation. He had killed another Astartes, an Astartes of another chapter, the Dark Angels no less. This wasn't some mistake upon the battlefield. This wasn't a case of friendly fire. This wasn't some argument gone awry. This was a duel that Ragnar had lost. There was simply no excuse for it, and he knew it. He knew it. The nature of a Fenrisian is one of the lust for battle and adventure, to prove oneself against the legends of old, to craft your name against the sagas of Russ. Yet all of it is underpinned with honour. It might not be a knightly honour such as the Dark Angels, but it is an honour nonetheless. And Ragnar, throughout his fast-rising tumultuous history, has run the very real risk of losing it. most possibly never more so than here. It's most likely very lucky that there were no other senior members of either chapter present, for this situation could have well led to war. And it almost did. It certainly makes me wonder how it may have played out were Azrael and Grimnar present. As it was in this particular situation, fate ultimately intervened, and Ragnar goes on to very much learn and grow from this experience. However, regardless of how much Ragnar may grow, he simply cannot remove his temper. That rage is part of him. It's this rage that led him straight into his confrontation with Gazkol Fracker. And while Ragnar may have beheaded the beast, he in essence lost his own life because of it, only being saved from death by the Rubicon Primaris. So the question is, will this temper and rage of Ragnar's truly prevent him from fulfilling his destiny? Or has the young Wolf Lord now grown enough to know when and how to yield it? For all his talent, which is unquestionable, will Ragnar Blackmane ever truly be ready to replace the great wolf Logan Grimnar? That's not a question any of us can answer for certain, as Ragnar's fate is still yet to be written. But as always guys, what do you think? Is Ragnar's ultimate destiny to one day be the Great Wolf of the Space Wolf chapter? Or will his rage and temper be his ultimate undoing? Has the young wolf grown enough from his experiences? Or will this flaw always be a part of his nature? As always guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.